Hi everyone, today we are gonna share something.
Right, so we wanted to, just share a bit of our experience when we were applying for the family class PR in Canada, and just share a couple of tips you wouldn't have thought of before when you're applying. It just kind of helps you relieve the stress a bit, knowing these things. We think, we're not experts. And we're not really going to do a step-by-step, very specific sort of video. And plus, our case was pretty straightforward. We just met each other, fell in love. we just met each other, fell in love, and got married, and now we're making this video. So if your case is, a little more complicated, you should hire a professional.
Yeah.
It will take the stress away, I've heard. So it's best to do that. The first thing is make sure your passport has enough time on it. The process could take up to a year. And, most airlines or countries will require you to have a certain amount of time on your passport, even to buy an air ticket. So the last thing you want to happen is for you to be well on your way in the process and applying or almost finished, and then have to renew your passport. Because when you start, you'll have to have your passport number in the application, and that application will be linked to that passport. So if you have to update it, you'll have to send that information to the visa office, and it could cause complications, or in the best case, it could take another couple weeks, so you don't want that to happen.
So I would like to say, make sure your passport won't expire for at least 2 years.
Yeah, that's like a good amount of time. The next thing would be when you start your application, you'll get an ID number or an application number, I think, or both. Yeah, both. And you'll be able to link that to your online account. So it's a good idea to make an online account. For sure, they recommend that. The government recommends that. More secure, I think.
Yeah, it's good for you too.
Yeah, it's better than mailing. Having said that, so when you try to link your application to your online account, there could be a glitch, I think, or some kind of issue. Maybe they fixed it, I don't know. But when we were doing it, there was this issue where you go to the website and you have to enter all of your info, and it says it's all required info, and you enter it all, and then it just couldn't find our application. It was so frustrating. We did it like days and days and days, and then we finally called them, and they said, maybe try not entering all of the required info that the website says. And we were just like, what? But we did it. We just put in, let's just say, for example, just put in the application number and the last name, no birthday, no anything, and then it found it.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? Anyway, so it worked for us, and maybe try that if you're having a problem. So going from there, you are probably going to have to end up calling them at some point for info, or to clarify things. And the best way to do that is call in the morning and have all of your info ready, before you call them. Makes sense. They will definitely ask you to identify yourself, so it's good to have all that info up to date and with you. Or it's best to call in the morning because there's thousands of other people probably trying to call. If you just call right at 9 a.m. or whenever they open, you're probably going to be on a queue for at least 15 minutes. That's how crazy it is.
Yeah, so get your documents ready, get your question list ready.
It might be a good idea to just save up a bunch of questions and then call them
in the morning.
Right? And because you have their attention. Right, so another thing is, having mentioned there's a lot of people applying, that can be a good thing, actually, because there's so many other people. There's a lot of people in your same situation. So when we were applying, I remember we had some certain question, and then we typed it in Google, and it came up with this form. So there's a lot of online forums, I think, where people are discussing this topic. The one that we went to is canadavisa.com forums. We didn't even set up an account there. We're not affiliated with the website or anything. We just found it really useful to be able to see other people's situations. The process is the same for whatever situation you're in. Anyone who applied in that class, the process is going to be similar. But having said that, you're basically in the dark. You don't know the timelines. The government is not going to be like holding your hand. If you don't understand anything, you'll have to either call them, which is frustrating as we discussed, or try to search for it. And the good thing is, for the most basic questions, you can get them answered on that forum, right? There's people in there who've been through the process, and they're probably just in the forum helping other people.
Yeah.
Of like really specific questions and specific situations.
Anyways, you can find anything on the forum. Some stories are pretty interesting. We would like to say, don't freak out if you see some frustrated case.
Like you might see a bunch of crazy horror stories and you might think, oh, this sounds similar to our situation. This is going to happen to us. Oh no, we're doomed. But you know your own situation.
Yeah, just stay calm.
Yeah, don't freak out, stay calm. This is a long process.
Yeah.
And you'll probably have like family members and friends telling you what you should and shouldn't do, but you know your own story. Just grab all of the pictures and all the documents that you have that you think could be used in your application or useful. And if you get too much info, you can just leave it out. But it's best to have more stuff than not enough stuff.
Yeah. Okay, that's it. Hopefully this video is useful too, and if you like this video, please click like and subscribe my channel. I will share more lifestyle and DIY video. Thank you for watching. Bye.
Yes. Let's get some ice cream.